Studio 10, everybody. And as we know, in March, it's Women's History Month, where we honor and we recognize the women that have left a significant impact on our history and our culture. Today, we're going to be talking about Rosie the Riveter, and I'm standing here at Lansing Community College with Joanne, who's going to tell us a little bit more about how Rosie left an impact here today. How are you, Joanne?
Good, how are you?
Great, thank you so much. So can you tell me a little bit about the course it is that you teach here at Lansing Community College?
Yes, I teach the physical metallurgy course, which is kind of understanding what's happening inside the metal that we use for a lot of different applications, a lot of different parts, things like steel, aluminum, and how we can manipulate those metals to get the properties that we want, to get the parts that we need.
That's awesome. So a lot of the students that come into your class, are they familiar with this topic, or is this something that they're learning about for the very, very first time?
Yep. I've gotten a range of students coming into this course. So some have been working with metal all their lives, they're really familiar with it, and they have a basic understanding of some of the properties that come in, but maybe not kind of the deeper understanding of how the elements themselves are interacting with each other to cause those properties. I've also had students come in with no experience at all. It's part of just one of their required courses for the program, and once they get in here, they start learning about the metal and they get really excited about it. So,
what are some of the jobs and the opportunities that are available for them afterwards?
Yes, there are a lot of jobs available for women in the trades, particularly right now because we're missing a lot of tradespeople in the workforce. So there are a lot of welding opportunities, there are a lot of machining opportunities, and just manufacturing jobs in general. There's jobs like press brake operators, you can work with laser cutting, you can work with rolling machines. There's a lot of different options available.
That's awesome, that's amazing. So can you tell me how you decided and what made you want to actually join manufacturing and say that this is the industry that you want to dedicate your life to?
Yes, so I actually started through engineering. So I was going to school to be a mechanical engineer, and I had an opportunity to work as a manufacturing engineer on an internship with a plant in Wisconsin, and I got exposed to a whole range of manufacturing jobs. So like the laser cutting, the rolling, press brake operators, people assembling, people welding, and it was just so interesting and so cool to work with the guys and figure out how they knew how to put stuff together, work back and forth with the design engineers to the manufacturing tradespeople to get the best product out at the end of the process.
A little bit about the lab that we're standing in. I'm seeing all this different equipment and appliances and tools. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so this is the physical metallurgy lab. So we have equipment for polishing, we have equipment for cutting samples, for heat treating, and then we also get samples from classes and from people working in the machine shop that's kind of out to the side. So this is a pretty typical sample for tensile testing, and it's called a dog bone sample because it kind of looks like a dog bone. And it has this thinner area which helps us predict where the sample is going to break, because these are for tensile tests. So you put them in a fixture and it slowly rips the sample apart. Our furnace is here for heat treating. So LCC just got a new furnace actually.
Okay.
They're currently off. They take a few hours to warm up, but you can open up the furnace, and in there we have our heating coils, so you can set your sample in here. Leave it in the furnace for however long you need to heat treat it for, maybe 30 minutes, maybe a couple of hours. In the end, you can take your sample out using heat-proof gloves or some of these tongs here. And then you can quench it. So we have some oil quenching that we can do, or we can just air quench it, just leave it out, let it come down to room temperature, and that can change the properties of the metal. So here we have, this is one of our cutting wheels. So this is an older piece of equipment. We're looking to update it, but we can clamp our sample in there, and then we have this cutting blade.
Okay.
So it spins really, really fast. It's hooked up to this motor here, and using our handle, we can pull it towards whatever piece we're trying to cut. So it's really good if we want to just make simple cuts. Anything more complicated, we do have to go out to the machine shop to do, but this is really good for this lab when we just maybe want to look at a piece of a sample really quick.
That's awesome. And so these are all things that students who enroll in LCC, they're able to actually do here on a regular day-to-day basis when they come to class.
Yep, and specifically as part of the physical metallurgy course, we end up using most of the machines in here.
Wow, I could listen to that for days. What a wonderful program. And of course, we'll have more on how to enroll at WILX.com/Studio10. And we're going to continue to highlight women in manufacturing fields this month, so definitely stay tuned for that.